All right, we're back with another comparison to find the best and worst photos in two packs of 1990 Score Series 1. Also, not a great set I think all that much of. And rather than trying to find the best cards or best players, we're going to look at which is the best photo and which is the worst photo from each pack. So let's get them open first. Well, if we're going for best player, I think we already have it chosen here. These are both good photos. Um, nice action shots. It's hard not to pick the junior though. You see the bat bending just a little bit under the pressure of the ball that he's made contact with. Um, hard not to love that. But the Burns photo is not bad. But we're going to give the edge to Griffey here. All right, there's that man Shawn Boskie and Glenn Braggs. Now again, both good photos. Boskie, really nice head-on photo, ball coming out of his hand, looks great. Wrigley Ivy in the background, really nothing to dislike about that photo. Um, Glenn Braggs, though, look at him looking down, focus. Look at that focus look on his face, making contact with the ball. Um, just great. I mean, you get a real sense of his stance and his swing, and both good photos. But I'm going to choose the Braggs here. Dave Hollins, Kevin Gross, also really nice photos. The Hollins photo is cropped unusually to take advantage of his bat being up there and sort of filling the space. Um, hard to not like that. Kevin Gross though one is pretty similar to the Boskie in the sense that it's a head-on photo, um, ball out of his hand. Both good photos. Give the edge to Kevin Gross. Let's see, there's trivia card out of here that nobody needs. Give the edge to the Gross, but again, Hollins is not bad. Kent Mercker and Tony Phillips. I'll take the action shot every time. Love you, Tony, but gotta take the Mercker. Eric Plunk and Karl Rhodes. Um, the Eric Plunk loses because his face is totally in the shadows. Like so much so, you can't even quite tell if he's got his glasses on. You got to really look at that one carefully. Yep, he does, but it's hard to see. So I'm going to give the edge to the Rhodes card, although I don't think it's a great photo either because of whatever's going on here. I guess that's the catcher, but sort of hard to see, distracting, kind of ruins it a little bit, but I'll give the edge to Rhodes. Well, this is not even a contest here. Tony Fernandez going for the ball over Gary Gagne. It was probably a stolen base attempt, I'm guessing. Probably a successful one at that, given that Gagne looks like he's on the base and the ball's not in Fernandez's glove. Compare that with a posed shot of Burnitz. Easy call. I'd say the same thing here. Dickson photo is not bad. I mean, I don't like the this sort of green screen on a funny background like that. But I get what they're going for something a little bit different there. Uh, but the Manto picture is a really nice one. So stick with the Manto. Okay, Jose Offerman and this Sandy Alomar Jr., whatever that is. I don't dig caricatures in general, and so that card just doesn't do it for me. None of the ones in the series do. Offerman photos, fine, good action, uh, fine. Lester Lancaster pitching at Wrigley, and Henry Cotto about to make contact. Both good photos. I think the Lancaster photo is hurt slightly by who's probably Ryan Sandberg behind him, but you can't really see, and he's just sort of sticking out there. But not bad photo. Give the edge to Lancaster. Okay, Stan, Belinda, and Steve Crawford. So, sorry, get the glare off there. Neither's a great photo. Both guys have shadows over their faces. Both have their arms kind of in unusual positions. Although that's because Belinda, of course, had a not a submariner, but he had a sort of sidearm delivery. Um, Neither's a great photo. I think the Belinda's a little bit nicer. Certainly, the color matching of the black and yellow going with the black and yellow of the uniform is better. There's just way too many colors on this card that don't go together. Omar, Vizquel, and Shane Mack. So again, I don't like the umpire being in the background, obscuring the photo of Vizquel, right? I mean, I really like to see a player's silhouette clearly defined without another person right behind him. Shane Mack photo's pretty good. Pretty good action shot. I do like the reflection in his helmet, too. Seeing a little bit of the view around the stadium. No. Okay, so this Stan Javier photo is almost awesome. The one thing that really keeps it from being super awesome is that I think that's the ball over there. So it looks like he missed it. Um, but man, does he have glasses on too? It's really hard to tell. Sure looks like he has goggles or glasses. I don't remember him ever playing with goggles or glasses. The Gerald Perry photo is a nice one. Again, like the Hollins that we saw. Gosh, was that in this pack or was that in a previous video? I think that was a previous video. Um, but they've sort of cropped him high and taken advantage of the bat. I don't like the fact that this white bat is against a white crowd, so you sort of lose the bat, and the bat looks overexposed. That's not my lighting. That's how it looks on the card. Javier has also got a guy behind him, kind of obscuring his silhouette. Neither is a fantastic photo, but I'll take the Javier. All right, Greg Gagne hopping over Dave Henderson. Sorry for that glare. And Melido Perez. Both pretty decent photos. I think that the Gagne photo has the problem that he's kind of in the shadows. Henderson's overexposed with too much sun, so you don't really see a lot.
Oh my God, Becky, look at her butt.
The Melido Perez is a perfectly good photo. Nice look at him and his delivery. You can see the ball. Edge to Perez. Now look at these two heavy sluggers here. Balboni and Sheets. And so again, they've done the same thing with the Balboni here. Cropped it kind of high, so you get the bat up there. Compared to the Sheets, they've cropped it for no good reason, just to get his head in, but they've cropped his legs out. And so, not a giant fan of that. The Balboni one actually looks quite nice. Excuse me. And if you compare this to the compared to the Gerald Perry, where do we put that one? Right, very similar photos, but look how clear the bat is. Balboni's bat, you can really clearly see it. Exposure overall is quite nice. Just a better photo. So I take the Balboni. Oh, interesting photos here. So Jody Reed, the ball is in there. Might be tough to see, but you can see the edge of the ball in his glove down there. So that's pretty cool. You get a real sense that he's fielding. Felix Fermin, obviously turning a double play or attempting to turn a double play as Al Newman comes in.
Look at her butt.
I don't hate this photo by any means, but Newman is just so prominently featured, and there's not enough contrast between him and Fermin, so you just don't get a clear look at it.
God.
I don't hate it by any means, but I would have to say the Jody Reed photo is just a little bit cooler. And last card in each pack. Roberto Kelly and Chris Gwynn. So this is what happens if you don't crop the player and get the bat in. It's fine. I think it's a little bit unfortunate because Kelly's sort of a little bit further into his swing, right? And he's like just leaning a little bit, like he's just about to start taking off for first base. And so his body's kind of compressed and kind of looks weird. You just see the pinstripes. You don't actually see the team logo or anything on there. It's just sort of an unfortunate timing on that photo. Chris Gwynn looks. Look at his face. I don't know what that. I don't know what that expression is all about. So looks like he's crying. I don't know. It's not a bad photo though. I'll take that one over the Kelly. All right, so let's find the worst and the best. Take the ones from the worst pile here, and I recall there were not a lot of terrible photos here. That's not a bad photo. I do not like these, like I said, but I'm not going to take that for. I'm not going to take any of these three because I don't particularly care for the style, but there's nothing fundamentally wrong with them. Oh, Hollins was here. Hollins already talked about was in this one. Look, and these are all pretty good photos. It's hard. I mean, there's no terrible photos in here. I'm going to say that Fermin is the worst photo because there's so much Al Newman, but I don't feel strongly that that's a bad photo by any means. Um, you know, certainly in a set of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cards, some photos like this are welcome. All right, now for the best. Do like that Balboni. See, you compare this one, right? Fernandez is in front of Gagne. So yeah, Gaede's there and you can see him. And look at the contrast, right? Because, Fernandez has got obviously dark skin color and Gaede's wearing a, very pale uniform, really good contrast. You can really clearly see all of Fernandez's body and everything that he's doing. The fact that Gaede's there is just adding, context and interesting stuff to the photo, but it's not obscuring anything about it compared to Fermin, who's heavily obscured the photo. So I do like that one. And I think that's going to be my pick. Interesting. Interesting that they're both photos of plays taking place at second base. And one of them I really like and one of them I don't, although, again, not terrible. Not bad photos at all in this set. Really can't complain. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Have a lucky day. Have a fun day. See you guys soon.